The very first jump in the evening was my best attempt. I think I reached slightly over 65 centimeters, and I probably should have stopped at that point because the very next one was really bad. But it got better in between, and since I'm pig-headed and I want to learn, I was doing quite a few sets. I did about 5, and I wasn't really going for low reps because I need to learn, and even if I am not really performing well in terms of heights achieved, I want to get the movement in as much as possible. So I was doing sets of between 7 to 10 repetitions, and I was trying to rewatch it in between while I was resting to get some instant feedback on what I was doing, if I was doing something wrong, if there were some jumps that I was actually doing something right. So from what I can tell, I'm still leaning a bit too much. My head is a bit too forward. That's probably giving a wrong starting point for the body. But I was in this set especially trying to get as quick of a what's it called, break step, the final step anyways, as possible. So I was also thinking about actively encouraging my body slightly turning as I am approaching with the last step, because I've seen that the torque created can actually improve takeoff. So I was playing around with a few details, trying not to get too bogged down in the mechanics, because there were times where I was really getting confused and I wasn't really sure what step to begin with. But anyways, after bathing into jumping for a good half an hour to 40 minutes, it was time to get some other stuff in. This is, after all, a full body everyday training routine, and I cannot get too attached to one thing. So I was doing some strength work for my lower body, and I was doing some trap bar deadlifts. This is a ramp up to 120 kilos. I was doing triples on the ramp up, and then I was doing a couple of back off sets uh, with 5 repetitions. So I'm still trying to find what's the optimal volume for these, since I'm going to be doing these once a week, once a cycle, and the other strength exercise for the lower body is going to be the front squats. So 120 kilos was moving okay. I'm feeling it very much in the front of my leg. This is really good. It doesn't really give me any strain in the back, so that it can heal faster. And since I'm going to be doing also Nordic curls, I do not want to put too much stress over there, especially since the Nordic curl is a very heavy and taxing movement, especially in the eccentric. So this is one of the 200 kilos back off set that I did afterwards, and I think that I did a good amount of volume for this day, but time will tell. And then I was going into the upper body. My friend here was doing some bench press, but I don't want to do that at the moment. So what I was doing was staying in the middle of the lane and doing a giant set. I was doing push-ups, and I was pushing these up to 25 reps on the first set. So high volume, maybe a bit of a rounding of the upper back at the end, but then I was going straight into pullover. So I was getting a dumbbell that I was able to do some repetitions without a dead stop at the bottom, because this bench is slightly higher. I was going for 10 reps because I still feel that I need to be careful with the movement itself. I feel a nice stretch at the bottom, but I don't want to really lean into the stretch reflex too much, just not to upset the tissue, since it seems to be healing, albeit slowly. And the last exercise in this giant set was some bicep stuff for the elbows. It's good to keep at least a joint that is not giving me any pain in the healthiest state that I can. So yeah, rinse and repeat a few times, go home and come back the next day. Ciao.